It was a cold afternoon in downtown Chicago, the kind of cold that bites through your coat and makes you walk a little faster, head down, eyes forward. People rushed past each other, lost in their own worlds, their own worries. No one stopped. No one looked twice. Except for a man sitting quietly on the sidewalk. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't asking loudly for help. He just sat there, holding a small cardboard sign that read, "Just need a little kindness today." Most people didn't even notice him. And neither did she, at least, not at first. Before we continue, take a moment to support stories that matter. If you believe kindness can change lives, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Welcome to Kindness Story Hub, where every story reminds us of the good we're capable of. Her name was Emily Carter. Emily was the kind of person who had everything scheduled. Her mornings were timed down to the minute. Coffee at 7:15. Train at 7:40. Office by 8:30 sharp. She worked at a marketing firm, climbing the ladder one step at a time, proud of her independence and discipline. But life hadn't always been smooth for her. Years ago, Emily had struggled. Fresh out of college, buried in student loans, she had worked 2 jobs just to survive. She knew what it felt like to be ignored, to feel invisible. Back then, she promised herself something: if I ever make it, I'll never forget what it feels like to need help. Somewhere along the way, she did forget. That afternoon, Emily stepped out of her office building, scrolling through emails on her phone. Her boss had just sent another urgent request. Her mind was racing, already thinking about deadlines, presentations, and the long night ahead. As she walked past the corner, she noticed him. The man with the cardboard sign. For a brief second, their eyes met. He looked tired, but not broken. His beard was untrimmed, his clothes worn, but his eyes were calm. Almost kind. Emily quickly looked away. I can't deal with this right now, she thought. I'm already late. She tightened her grip on her purse and kept walking. Behind her, the men didn't say a word. That night, Emily stayed late at the office. By the time she left, the streets were quieter, the city lights glowing against the dark sky. She pulled her coat tighter and headed toward the train station. And there he was again. Same spot. Same sign. This time, something felt different. Maybe it was the silence of the night. Maybe it was the way he just sat there, not asking, not begging loudly, just existing. Emily slowed down. She reached into her purse. Then she hesitated. What if he uses it for something bad? She thought. What if I'm just encouraging this? Her hand paused. Then she pulled it out of her purse empty. Without saying anything, she walked past him again. But this time, she felt something heavy in her chest. Guilt. The next morning, Emily woke up feeling restless. She couldn't quite explain it, but the image of that man kept replaying in her mind. His quiet presence. His eyes. She tried to shake it off. It's not my responsibility, she told herself. Still, something didn't sit right. Later that day, during her lunch break, Emily decided to take a different route. Maybe she just wanted to avoid him. Or maybe she didn't want to face that feeling again. But as fate would have it, she ended up on the same street anyway. And he was still there. Same spot. Same sign. This time, Emily stopped. She stood there for a moment, unsure of what to say. The man looked up at her, his expression gentle. "Rough day?" he asked softly. Emily blinked, surprised. "Ah, yeah," she admitted. "You could say that." He nodded, as if he understood more than she had said. "You're doing better than you think," he said. Emily frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" He smiled faintly. "Sometimes we're harder on ourselves than life is." His words caught her off guard. Here she was, standing in front of someone she had ignored twice, and he was comforting her. For a moment, Emily didn't know what to say. Then, finally, she reached into her purse again. This time, she didn't hesitate. She pulled out some cash and handed it to him. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I should have stopped before." The man accepted it with a nod. "It's okay. You stopped now. That's what matters." Emily felt something shift inside her. She smiled, just a little, and walked away. But this time, she didn't feel heavy. She felt lighter. Over the next few days, something changed in Emily. She started noticing people more. The barista who looked exhausted. The coworker who always sat alone. The elderly man struggling with his groceries. She began doing small things. A smile. A kind word. Holding a door open. Buying an extra coffee for someone in need. Nothing big. But it mattered. And every day, she stopped by that corner. Sometimes she gave the man a few dollars. Sometimes she brought him food. Sometimes they just talked. His name, she learned, was Daniel. Daniel never shared much about his past. But he always listened. Always offered simple, thoughtful words that seemed to come at exactly the right moment. "You've got a good heart," he told her one afternoon. Emily laughed softly. "I didn't act like it at first." Daniel shrugged. "Kindness isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing to care, even after you've walked away." Those words stayed with her. Weeks passed. Then one day, Daniel was gone. His usual spot was empty. No sign. No trace. Emily felt a strange sense of loss. She asked around, but no one seemed to know where he had gone. Life moved on, as it always does. Work got busy again. Deadlines returned. The city kept rushing forward. But Emily wasn't the same anymore. She kept practicing kindness. Not because of guilt, but because it felt right. Then, one evening, something unexpected happened. Emily's company announced a major partnership with a new investor. It was a big deal. The entire office buzzed with excitement. There was going to be a formal event. A chance to meet the people behind the deal. Emily got dressed carefully that night, choosing a simple but elegant outfit. She wasn't sure why, but she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. At the event, the room was filled with well-dressed professionals, soft music, and polite conversations. Then the announcement came. "Ladies and gentlemen," the CEO said, "please welcome the men behind this incredible opportunity. Mr. Daniel Hayes." Emily froze. Her heart skipped a beat. No, it couldn't be. But then he walked onto the stage. Clean-shaven. dressed in a sharp suit. Confident. It was him. Daniel. The man from the sidewalk. Emily's mind raced. How is this possible? Daniel began to speak. He talked about success, about business, about opportunities. But then, his tone softened. There's something else I believe in, he said. Something more important than any deal. The room grew quiet. Kindness, he continued. Not the kind that's easy. But the kind that requires you to stop, to see someone, to care, even when it's inconvenient. Emily felt her eyes fill with tears. Daniel's gaze scanned the room. For a brief moment, it landed on her. And he smiled. After the speech, Emily gathered her courage and approached him. Daniel, she said softly. He turned, and his face lit up with recognition. Emily, he said warmly. She shook her head in disbelief. I don't understand, you were. On the street, he finished gently. Emily nodded. Daniel took a deep breath. I wasn't homeless, he explained. Not exactly. I was searching. For what? Emily asked. For people, he said. For real kindness. Not the kind that comes from obligation. But the kind that comes from the heart. Emily was speechless. I've spent years building businesses, Daniel continued. But I realized something was missing. So I stepped away for a while. Sat on the streets. Watched. Waited. Anne. Emily asked. Most people walked by, he said simply. Some gave money without looking. But very few truly saw me. Emily looked down. I didn't, at first, she admitted. Daniel nodded. No. But you came back. You chose differently. That's what matters. Tears rolled down Emily's cheeks. You changed me, she said. Daniel smiled. No. You changed yourself. I just gave you the chance to see it. That night, as Emily walked home, the city felt different. Not quieter. Not slower. But kinder. Because she was kinder. She realized something simple, yet powerful. Kindness isn't about grand gestures. It's about small moments. Small choices. The decision to stop, to notice, to care. You never know who someone really is. But more importantly, you never know what your kindness might mean to them, or to you. So the next time you see someone sitting quietly, holding a simple sign, remember this. You're not just passing a stranger. You're being given a chance. A chance to be kind. And sometimes, that changes everything.